Welcome to Learner's Planet, my dear children. Children, this is session 3 about adaptations, how animals survive. Children, in the previous session, we studied about different types of animals. And in this session, we are going to study about where animals live. And we are also going to study about the different types of animals like aquatic animals, aerial animals, and we will also see the adaptations for protection. So children, now we will study about arboreal animals. So children, what are arboreal animals? Yes, arboreal animals are the land animals that live mostly on trees, right? So always remember that the land animals that live mostly on trees are called arboreal animals. So children, let's see some interesting features about arboreal animals. Children, arboreal animals have sharp claws to climb up and down the branches. Right? You can see in the picture, right? This is an example of monkey, right? They have sharp claws to climb up and down the branches, and they usually have strong muscular limbs. As you can see here, they have strong muscular limbs, and also they have a tail for holding on to branches. So because of this stronger limbs and the stronger tail, they are able to hold on to branches, right? So the example of such arboreal animals are monkey and koala bear, right? And now we will study about aerial animals. Children, I hope you are clear with terrestrial, aquatic, amphibians and arboreal animals. And now we are going to study about aerial animals. So children, animals that can fly in the sky and spend a lot of their time in the air are called aerial animals. So what are aerial animals? Yes, animals that can fly and spend their lot of time in the air are called aerial animals. Alright, so let's see some features about aerial animals. Yes, their hollow bones make the bodies of these animals very light in weight. So you can say that aerial animals are very light in weight and they have one set of limbs, right? Always remember that aerial animals have only one set of limbs, and these limbs are modified as wings to fly in the sky. So you can see here, these are the limbs of aerial animals, and these limbs are modified as wings. So birds or the aerial animals are able to fly with the help of their wings, and their bones are also hollow, because of which it makes the bodies of these aerial animals very light in weight. Then the body of the aerial animals is such that they are able to cut through the air easily. So children, always remember that they are able to cut through the air very easily, and that is why we can say that they are able to fly very easily, right? So almost all the birds except flightless birds belong to this group, that is aerial animals. So always remember children, almost all the birds are aerial animals except the flightless birds which belong to another group, right? So children, bats also form the part of this group. For example, bat is also an example of aerial animal because it is able to fly high in the sky, right? And their limbs are also modified as wings. Children, we will also see some more characteristics, that is, in the cold winter months when the food becomes scarce, or we can say that the food becomes very less, many birds fly towards warmer countries in search of food and warmth. So this kind of mass movement of birds, what is the mass movement of birds? Means many of the birds fly together, right? So this is called the mass movement. So the mass movement of the birds is called migration. What it is called as? Migration. Children, always remember that in the cold winter months, the food becomes very scarce. So many birds are not able to get the food. So how do they get the energy? Yes, they will fly towards the warmer countries in search of food and warmth, and this kind of flying of mass movement of birds is called migration. Means flying from one place to the another place in search of food and warmth, right? So this is called migration. And it happens only in birds, not in animals, right? So children, we saw many such examples of aerial animals, right? And now we are going to study about what animals eat. Children, we know that animals eat different types of food, right? And based upon the type of food they eat, they can be divided into 5 main groups. So what are these 5 main groups? Yes, herbivores, then carnivores, omnivores, then scavengers, and parasites. So children, based on the type of food they eat, they are divided into 5 main groups. So let's study about all the groups in detail. So first we will start with the herbivores. So children, what are herbivores? Yes, animals that eat plants are called herbivores. So children, we can say that herbivorous animals have sharp cutting teeth for biting, right? And they have very strong grinding teeth. Okay, so always remember that herbivorous animals have sharp cutting teeth for biting and very strong grinding teeth. And why these kind of teeth are present? Yes, this is because plant food needs to be chewed a lot, as it is very rich in a substance called as cellulose. What it is called as? Cellulose. So all herbivorous animals eat plants, right? And they have sharp cutting teeth and strong grinding teeth because plant food needs to be chewed a lot because it is rich in a substance called as cellulose. For example, you can see this is cow, then sheep, and then donkey, then horse. So there are many such plant-eating animals. So these are called as herbivores. Alright children. Now we will study about the next category, that is carnivores. So children, animals that eat the flesh of other animals are called carnivores, right? So children, most of the carnivorous animals have very sharp tearing teeth for hunting and tearing out the flesh of its prey. Right? So you can see here, you can see the pictures. Yes, this is the picture of lion and a tiger, and you can see in this picture that they have very sharp tearing teeth for hunting, and they have sharp tearing teeth also for tearing out the flesh of its prey. Right? So they are the animals that eat the flesh of other animals with the help of their sharp tearing teeth. Right? That is why they are called as carnivores. Okay, so this is the picture of carnivorous animals. Now we will study about the third category, that is omnivores. Children, what are omnivores? Yes, animals that eat plants as well as animals are called omnivores. Oh, so such kind of animals that eat plants and they also eat animals, right? So they are called as omnivores. Okay, so always remember that animals that eat plants are called as herbivores. Animals that eat only flesh of other animals are called carnivores, and the animals that eat plants as well as flesh of other animals are called omnivores. Right? For example, crow, then bear, and even man. Man is also an omnivore. So always remember that we human beings are also omnivores. Right? Because we eat plants as well as animals. Now let's see the next category, that is scavengers. So children, what are scavengers? Yes, some flesh-eating animals feed on the flesh of dead animals. Right? So these are some flesh-eating animals that feed on the flesh of other dead animals, and they are called as scavengers. So this is the picture of raccoons. Raccoons are such flesh-eating animals that feed on the flesh of other dead animals, and they are called as scavengers. Let's see some example. Right. We can see some example like vulture, then hawk, then hyena. So these are some examples of scavengers. Now we will study about parasites. So children, what is meant by parasite? Yes, there are some small animals that get their food from other living organisms. Right? So such small animals that get food from other living animals are called parasites. And how do they get food from other living organisms? Yes, they get their food by sucking the blood of their host. Right? Host means, yes, on which they feed, on which the parasite feed is called host. So the animal on which the parasite feed or the parasite sucks the blood is called host. Right? So parasites get their food by sucking the blood of their host, and such animals are called parasites. As you can see some of the picture, and you can guess the examples. We will see some more examples, right? So children, parasites are such small animals that may live on or inside their host body, right? They may live on or inside their host. For example, fleas, then lice, then bed bugs, etc. they all live on the body and they suck blood, while the tapeworms, roundworms and hookworms live inside the host's body, right? So all these are examples of the parasites, right? Here we can see in this example, frog is an amphibian. It is not a parasite, but this flea, or we can say that this is a parasite. Why? Because it is such a small animal or a small organism that gets food from other living organism, right? So it is feeding on the blood of the frog, right? So frog is an amphibian and this mosquito or a fly is parasite. Children, now we will study about adaptations for protection. Children, we studied about adaptation, right? Some animals or most of the animals adjust according to the environment, and this is called adaptation. So let's see what is the benefit of adaptation for the animals. Yes, many animals have adapted themselves well to protect them from their enemies, right? Let's see, how do they protect their enemies? Let's see some interesting examples. Yes, children, animals like the elephant and hippopotamus are very huge, right? And their size, such a huge size, scares away most of their enemies, right? Like this elephant and this is hippopotamus, right? So these are such animals that are very huge in size, and because of their size, most of the enemies get scared. Then some animals can trick their enemies because their body color easily blends with their surroundings, right? If the surroundings in which they are living is green in color, then that animal or those animals will be easily blend with the green color of the surrounding, and they will then confuse their enemies. And such type or such property of animals of tricking their enemies by blending the body color with the surroundings is known as camouflaging. What it is called as? Camouflaging, right? So always remember that such animals which have such property of blending the body color with their surrounding and confusing their enemies are having the property known as camouflaging. For example, what are the example of such animals? Yes, such animals are like chameleons, zebra, Arctic fox, polar bears, frogs, etc. So all such animals have this property of camouflaging. Children, you will be amazed to know that chameleon, a lizard-like animal, can also change its body color according to the surroundings. And even grasshopper and the stick insects are the perfect examples of camouflaging, right? So always remember this term. Children, now we will study about the animals in danger. Children, you must be knowing that we are cutting down the forests for our needs, right? Despite of a lot of adaptations, lives of several animals are in danger. Why? Because of the activities of man. What kind of activities of man? Yes, because of the cutting down of forests for our own needs. And by doing so, we are taking away the homes and the food of such animals. As you can see in this picture, this animal is very afraid. Why? Because someone will now come and they will cut down the tree, right? So they will take away their home and the food of the such animal. So this is very bad for us and also for the animals, right? So we can say that many animals are in danger of dying out because of these kind of things, that is cutting down of forests for our own needs. So children, there are some animals which have already disappeared from the earth and they are called extinct animals. For example, the flightless bird dodo, D-O-D-O, dodo. This is a picture of a dodo that has already disappeared from the earth, and this is now called as an extinct animal. Then some animals are in danger of becoming extinct. They haven't extinct, but they are in the danger of becoming extinct, and they are called as endangered animals. What are they called as? Endangered animals. So we can see here the example, animals like giant panda and tiger are in danger of becoming extinct. Children, you must be knowing that in India the number of tigers is reducing day by day. At least one tiger is being killed illegally every day for its bones, skins, nails, then teeth, among other parts, right? So children, we know that at least one tiger is being killed illegally every day for their body parts, right? So there are many organizations that are coming together to save the tigers from this extinction. So children, always remember that we should save such animals and we should not cut down the trees, right? So always remember that if something like this is happening, then we should save the animals, like you can see in this picture, right? The tigers' number is reducing day by day, right? So this is illegal. We should not use their body parts, right? So children, please save tigers because they are going to be extinct. Okay? Children, I hope that you enjoyed this session and learned about adaptations for protection and the habitat and the eating habits or the eating of animals, what they eat, and also you learned about animals in danger, right? So children, we will meet in the next session with the new lesson. Till then, keep learning, keep enjoying.